go, UW. Hey, Moats, with all the GP stuff, do you think it's a coaching issue, or does the front office scouting department need to change how they evaluate prospects?
All right. Do you want to clarify what are you talking about with the GP stuff? Just because I don't know if everybody is up to date on it. I'm up to date.
Well,
we've had multiple comments and reactions to those comments.
yeah.
All from the people that matter the most. So before I even speak on it, I do think we should hear from,
Sure. So we all know about the Pickens non-block on the Jalen Warren almost touchdown run,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So Pickens was asked about that yesterday in his media session, and he said he wasn't trying to have another Tank Dell situation happen where the running back or the players behind him roll up on him, he gets an ACL and ends up being out for the season with an injury like that. And then I think he was also asked a couple times about just general criticism or like what has the offense done to like pull together. He basically blamed everything on the media and that the media is like blowing it out of proportion. And I think there was some other controversy about him saying him and Tomlin never had a meeting, but then Tomlin said they did have a meeting. But that was later clarified because Pickens was just unaware of the timing they were referring to. Tomlin was referring to a meeting, I think, like a week or two ago, week and a half, after the Patriots game. Whereas I think Pickens assumed whenever they asked the question, they were talking about a meeting that just happened like a day or two ago. So that aside, the two things that are getting people in an uproar is Pickens saying he didn't block because he didn't want an injury, like Tank Dell, and also blaming the media for some of his lack of effort.
He said y'all keep criticizing him, man. You ain't played. He said y'all ain't played, but leave him alone.
Yeah.
Stop talking about me if you ain't played this game. I'm tired of y'all talking. That's what he said. He's sick of it.
That's basically what has happened over the last 24 hours with Pickens.
That was the front part. So, I guess should we go ahead and give the Tomlin response too?
Well, that happened today, right?
Yeah, that like recently happened right before we started. So
he defended
or do you want to break
him.
it up? How you want to do it?
I don't really have the Tomlin quotes on the top of my mind, at least enough to paraphrase them. I could find them if you want.
Okay.
But he basically defended Pickens in a way. Also said that he will play this week. He's not going to bench him. But also acknowledged we still need to work and develop. But also said,
actually pull up the quote. We'll just pull it. I got you.
There was a little bit more. So part of Tomlin's defense too was that Pickens may not be fully there in terms of his media savvy just yet. That he needs to work on that too because Tomlin said Pickens is just sometimes too up front and that competitive edge comes out in some of his media sessions too.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can find.
There's a lot going on with the situation, man. But at the same time, it's a lot, but it's not a lot. And what I mean is this. We're losing right now. So everything gets magnified, right? Everything is under a microscope. Any play that you have that is not good, we're coming back and we're looking at it, right? And rightfully so. When you're not winning, you're trying to figure out what is it going to take to get back to the winning ways. And a lot of times it's in those details. Problem is, when everybody keeps pointing out them details, we said with, the players, they are human. And everybody reacts differently, right? Some people, they ignore it. Some people, it, sticks a little bit more. Just from what it had seen or from, GP's comments, specifically as he was addressing the media portion, is like, I get that part, right? Because your team is already holding you accountable. You come in here, Coach T holding you accountable. Your receivers are holding you accountable. Your other teammates, your defenders are holding you accountable. Everybody's talking about it in the building. Then you get out of that thing, and the first thing you do is what? Pick up your phone, and you seeing everybody else have an opinion on you as well. People that you might not even feel deserve to have an opinion. So you never get a chance to get away from it. So it's very frustrating. It can feel overwhelming. I think part of that is what we're getting with him in his comments, man. At the same time, Coach T did say something along the lines of how he answers to the media versus how he talks to the team are two different things. He's truthful about his effort, about what's going on with him to his team, coaches, teammates. To the media, he's saying whatever he wants. It appears at times, right? So for Coach T, what he's implying is this, man, or what he's saying is this. He doesn't owe us any type of honest answer when he's talking to the media. Remember the whole Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined? He is literally checking off a box. But he has to understand from a maturity standpoint, whatever you say on that mic, at this level, it's different. It's gonna be combed through. We're gonna overanalyze certain parts of it, especially when you're playing for the Steelers and they're struggling. So even though you might say certain things or you might feel like, man, it don't matter, I'm gonna just throw this out there. This is the type of stuff that comes with it. So that's what he's trying to get at him with it. But at the same time, he said he's gonna play, and he said any discipline, we're not talking about it public. We're keeping that in-house, and rightfully so, because then that's just another thing that obviously Pickens would have to deal with. But he also was basically saying that he still does have to pick his stuff up too, because this is the cause and effect element of it. The reason why he's been talked about with his blocking is because what we've seen. The same way when we've highlighted his blocking as a positive, it was because of what we saw. So just because you've done it before, it does not mean that that's a guarantee that you're going to just continue to do it. That's why we say in the NFL it's a results-based business, and you have to do it each and every week. So that's also part of this thing, in terms of his frustrations, which I understand. It's like, yo, I've done it before. Y'all ain't had no issues, but now everybody's calling me out on this stuff. Them situations are different, man. And then you didn't say what you said in terms of, I was trying not to get hurt. That just don't sound the best. Yeah. But,
Well, here's a few quotes. I would like him to be more professional in terms of addressing some of his shortcomings with you guys to further add fluidity to the process. He's not helping himself. He's not helping the process in the manner in which he's dealt with you guys. Also says he's got talents. We want to utilize him. He's very much in growth and development, but it'd be the same if we were winning games or if he said appropriate things with you guys yesterday. So I guess that's a little bit of an explanation as to why Pickens will be playing this week. Eddie Faulkner implied Pickens' block was addressed yesterday with the whole team during a meeting. And as you mentioned, Tomlin added any punishment Pickens receives would be handled in-house. I got to give a shout-out to Steelers Depot for just this whole article because they got all this covered right now. All the quotes.
They hold their business down?
Put together. Yeah, this is pretty nice. This is easy to go through. Mm-hmm. Do you want anything else?
No, that's the main stuff right there, man. Because like I said, we talked about the other part of it with GP's comments as well, man. But like I said, this is what happens when you're losing, man. We win this week. We ain't talking about this type of stuff. The same what we said with the Deontay Johnson. Was he celebrating? Oh, it's like, man, when you win, bro, don't nobody care about this type of stuff right here, man. But this is the cause and effect of it, man. So until they do start winning, just got to keep maneuvering through this stuff, man.
Yeah, because I feel like the criticism is very valid of Pickens up to this point.
Right.
It's very valid because it's not just media. It's not just fans. It's literally your coaches. Tomlin is saying it to you out in public multiple times, multiple weeks in a row, that what you are doing out there, the lack of effort that you're putting in is unacceptable. Eddie Faulkner said it today. But then to top that off, you have former players. I know some of them work in the media now, but these are former players that know how to get it done. Former legends, former Steeler legends.
They've done it for a long
Big
time.
Ben, Ryan
Seriously,
Clark.
bro.
You got Merrill Hodge talking about the half-ass effort
it.
that our receivers are putting out there. Like this isn't just fans or media making stuff up.
Yeah.
We're watching on TV. We're upset about it, but then you also have people that are very, very close to you, coaches in the locker room, and also people that are close to your situation, know what it's like to be in your shoes, saying like this is unacceptable as well. So like that's all there. Like up to this point, there is reason we're talking this way, are upset with what you're putting out there, and also having serious conversations about benching you to try to send a message that way because it keeps happening.
that's part of the issue, right?
Or even
It keeps
potentially
happening.
trading you in the
Yeah.
offseason.
Like I said, the fact that these conversations even got to this is the crazy part. But it's like at this level, until you actually produce to that AB type where we're like, yo, you're above reproach. And even with him, we saw it. At the end, he still wasn't above it all, right? Multiple stops. Still wasn't above it all. That's the part where you got to just understand, man. Like, sometimes you got to start falling in line a little bit, man.
And it's
Yeah.
and it's not even about like the off-field stuff,
Right.
Because we've talked about that. We're not a fan of that either.
But we're like,
But
in
AB
terms
had
of-
some of the off-field stuff. It wasn't the Gen Z social
Nah, it
media
wasn't
things.
like that, yeah.
Maybe not even off the field, more like sideline stuff, I guess.
Think
Playing
about-
on the side.
yeah.
But when he was
In between them white lines,
Exactly.
bro, it was never a question.
There's never a
It was
question
never
about
a
effort.
debate. He was the best player out there, or we knew he was going to be one of the best players on that field every single time. His effort and the productivity is going to go there.
And that's just, here's the sad part about it. That's literally the bare minimum as a professional football player.
We don't even congratulate you for running. To
Like,
the
why are
ball.
we talking about AB and his effort?
Think about it.
That's
We
the
never-
bare minimum.
We would never. These convos shouldn't have to happen. Effort, rules. That's like me saying, hey, Deke, man, hey, we followed our rules today, bro. Who's good today? It's like, no, that's what we supposed to do, baby. Like,
So obviously he's going to get another chance
yeah.
this week against the Bengals, which, right or wrong, I would probably do too, just because we're going to have either Mason Rudolph out there. I'd give Mason a chance with Pickens.
Yeah, because
Or we're going to get Pickett, and I would like to see this Pickens connection
Yeah.
keep rolling without Canada.
And either way, our offense, no different when we talked about when people say, should we bench Deontay Johnson? And it's like, no, you're going to hurt everybody else, man, by doing that. You sit Pickens, you hurt everyone else. But at the same time, we'll see how he responds to this version of criticism, right? When it's coming from...
Where Tomlin has to do another
You see what I'm
press
saying?
conference.
Right,
Go out of his way
he already
to make a
had
press
to address
conference
the first part. Then he had to do another
specifically
one.
talking just about you.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, they gonna be holding you accountable. I already know Coach T pissed off, so he gonna be at you. But it's like, how are you gonna respond now? Because we're seeing this trend where it looks like when it doesn't go your way, that's when the questionable stuff seems to happen a little bit, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see, baby. We'll see. Like I said, I wanted to work out for him though, because he's talented as heck, bro.
Yeah, I would love
He's talented
to
as heck,
keep
man.
Pickens here. This
Talented as heck.
isn't where I wanted to go with just George Pickens conversations
Yeah.
right now. This is not. This
And
is the last
nothing
place.
that
but
anybody has made up. This is
no,
just
this is just where
the
we're
cause
at.
and effect.
We got to
Yeah.
see it with Claypool, and that's why maybe I'm a little bit quicker to pull the trigger right now.
Who was more productive at that stage? We traded Claypool going into his third, or he's like, what, second game into his third?
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I mean, Claypool. I mean, if you want
That's
to
why
really
I'm
focus
like,
on touchdowns, Claypool
Claypool
had more
had
touchdowns
more
his
touchdowns,
first
but
2
I'm
years.
like, how far off are
It's
we
not far off.
talking? Yeah.
Pickens will have more yards this year because he's at like 800. Claypool
Okay.
ended year 2 with around 800. But Claypool's first year, he had like 11 total
Yeah,
touchdowns,
because he led
900
all
yards.
rookies in touchdowns his rookie year, right?
It's not far off. You could probably make a case for either player if you wanted to
Yeah.
after 2 seasons in.
Yeah.
The advantage for Pickens is he didn't have Ben.
Fair.
And he's putting up these numbers.
Yeah.
But still, just flat out numbers. Yeah, it's close.
It's my thing, man. I'm like, you gotta be careful, man. Gotta be careful. Because it's
But
not...
maybe it's what he wants. And I
Who
just
knows? And
want
that
clarity.
could be the case,
Do
too.
you want to be here or not?
That could be the case, too.
If you don't want to be here, all right, let's just
Yeah.
make it good for both sides and part ways.
Yeah.
If you want to be here, like, this is all the stuff that you got to get rid of.
Yeah. Because as you see, it doesn't help. It just is another issue to deal with. You already got real stuff that y'all dealing with in there. Now you got this little just side stuff. And this is the nonsense where you just like, yo, don't make it more difficult than it has to be. This is like the social media convo, right? We talked about, yo, we don't need you to go on TikTok and do the thing on the logo before they start the game. We already know they turned up anyways. That's just extra, right? Certain things like this, like, bro, you don't have to say that, or you don't have to do this type of stuff, because now we got this little added storyline coming into this game all of a sudden now.
Maybe he thought the Tank Dell explanation would actually win people over.
And that's the crazy part. He really thought on it. Because it was a whole day in between. He's like, yep, that's the one I'm going with. I ain't want to get Tank Dell. Ben Roethlisberger was playing with a broke face. And it's like you saying he didn't want to get AB came back with a broke leg. I'm like, bro, AB.
Is Hines Ward thinking about himself when he was
like,
blocking for Willie Parker and Bettis back in the day?
I'm
no.
just like, come on, baby, don't do me like that.
It's such a me first statement.
Don't do me like
so
that.
it goes hand in hand with
yeah.
everyone talking about, oh, have the Steelers lost their way? Is the Steeler culture gone? When you got dudes saying stuff like this, it's like, yeah.
Think about it.
It goes hand in hand with the narrative.
Think about it, bro.
That's not a team first attitude.
It's dudes that really was willing to risk it all out there. Dudes that low key did give up a lot out there. Think about that, man.
I saw Paul
Think about that, bro. And then you hear people saying this, you like, what? That's no. I thought it was we would die. I thought that was what we signed up for. I remember we said, if you come out here, you're willing to die. I know I would. That's the thought process I thought we had. That's why you say your prayers, make it right with whoever you praying to. Send them good I love you texts and hope for the best. Because you never know. You seen the people, how they get broken up out there, man. You know one of the dudes we was out there with, that man life changed forever. But that's what we all was on. Like, yo. So, to an extent, that part was very shocking, man. But low key, and not as a shot at him, just more so at the newer wave, I'm not as surprised. I do feel like that is a part of the new wave. It's just different. And it is, but it's not an issue. It's an issue for us traditionalists because we old enough to be like, hey, man, they're supposed to be like that. But if that's their new wave, we got to just, I guess, respect it. I don't know.
No, or get players in here that have a whole old soul and aren't about the new wave stuff.
You seen TJ? TJ was talking about people don't want to practice. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah, it's insane.
I was like, what? TJ said, what? He said, what? People don't want to practice. How are y'all not wanting to practice? Deke.
That's what I mean. Just get people in here that want to practice.
Deke, how are you not wanting to practice? Deke, you're 7-6. Deke, how do they not want to practice? At what point in the season have we been at a place where we can say, bro, we don't need to practice this week. We straight to chill this week.
It's probably after those 400 yards against the Bengals.
Bro, when have we been to that point, bro? I'm trying to figure out what part of the schedule where we at, Deke, where we can say, kick our feet up. We good. We don't need to practice this week, bro.
After our preseason showings, going into week one, they definitely felt that way.
Bro, with TJ's, and it wasn't like it was misconstrued. It's like, yo, TJ's doing an interview with Rich Iron, shout out to Rich. And it's like, yo. And he doubled down. He said, yo, Coach T is doing everything to be a dynamic leader. He's doing this. He's like a dude to come out of that meeting and be like, he don't want to practice. Like, huh? How you get there?
More comments that go hand in hand with the questioning of the Steeler way. And it's not, I don't think it's everyone. It's a few people. And so get them out of here. And if they're not going to change their ways, get them out of here.
But because I'm like a TG. Not TG, a TJ, a Cam, Mink. I'm like, bro, they dogs. They not tripping on that. E-Rob, Pat P.
All those
come
dudes
on, bro.
defense.
What we talking about, man? So I'm like, I know they got the dudes in there, but I'm like, who the heck? At what point? Tell me which week. After what performance? Win or loss? Deke, win. When could they make that thought process, bro? I'm good this week, bro. I ain't trying to go out that thing. I don't need to. When? I'm trying to figure out that game, bro. What 4-game streak they had, man? Maybe it was a 6-game streak somewhere here. 10-game streak, something. Maybe one of them in there.
Going back to what you were saying, too, I saw the Troy Polamalu Hall of Fame speech pop up on my Instagram feed. Mm-hmm. I'll read the quote for you right now.
Talk to him.
He says, to be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself, to protect your brother even from himself, to give support even at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most important, we ourselves don't dishonor it. The only approval any Steeler should seek is to earn the approval of previous legends who have donned the black and gold. And if you have truly earned their respect, they'll say, you could have played with us.
Yep. That's real, bro.
We don't have that from every player right now
And
in this locker room.
That's accurate, man.
We don't. Again, the majority, sure.